Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy once again, MC Babbage, with the Relationship Talk Show right here. And today, as you can see, I have my gentleman here with me, and it's boys affair today. Today's topic is going to be an exciting one, and we're talking about common mistakes we do in relationship, and I'm going to take it from the men's perspective. All right, so my gentlemen, you're welcome to my show.
Thank you.
I have Sergio, I have Franky, and I have the man who has been on the show before, Emmanuel. And before we dive into today's topic, I would like my gentlemen here, they haven't been on the show before. I would like to find out from them. My first episode, I talked about relationship and dating. Wanted to know the differences between relationship and dating. So let me start with you, Sergio. What's your opinion on the difference between relationship and dating?
Well, thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
You are doing a very great show.
Right. Thank you.
What I'd like to say before I start is the number of times we spend with our relationship partners. If you compare it to any other thing that we do, you realize it's more than any other thing that we do. So this is a very important aspect of human lives that we have to prioritize. So it's a good thing you're doing this show for the community here.
Thank you very much.
So as far as relationship and dating is concerned, I'm sure you're talking about romantic relationship as compared to dating. So dating is the point in a relationship where you try to know your partner better. After meeting your partner, you move to the dating point where you try to learn more about your partner. Try to figure out if your partner is the right person for you before you move into the one you can call the relationship. So relationship is a further step after dating.
So you build up from dating to relationship.
Obviously.
Now, I don't know about Franky. What do you think about the difference between dating and relationship?
Thanks my brother to give me the speech, and thanks to having me here today. So like my brother says, it's a good idea and a good team, so we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
So like for the beginning, for me, dating and relationship, they are two quite different. Or like for me, dating is about like a study. It's like a study. So when you are dating someone, it means you are not yet taking a decision. You are still studying how to see how are you going to manage with the guy. But relationship is like you already get your decision. So you decide to share your life with a person. So it's different because in dating, it's sure like maybe you can't be together with the person. Maybe the battle will be lost. So it's quite different. So you decide to be with someone. So in relationship, you are starting to move with the person.
Okay, so if I got you right, in dating, you are not so sure. That's where you want to find out whether you are compatible with this person before you move on to a relationship where further studies or you understanding each other comes in.
Sure.
All right, thank you very much. And one of the things we also talked about was cheating in relationship, which my man here was on board in the episode 2.
Can I come in?
Okay. You want to say something? Yes.
Yeah, I want to say
briefly
about the dating.
Yeah.
You know, dating is quite different from relationship.
Why do you say so?
Dating is when you meet someone and you want to know the person. You set a date. You go out with that person. Then you try to find out if that person is the right person you want to go into the relationship with. So dating happens like once or twice. You sit down, maybe you go out somewhere, you sit down, you get to know each other. That's dating. Dating is not like going into a relationship. Dating is getting to know someone. You find a place, you set a date. That's why we call it dating. You set a date, you go with the person, you sit down, you know each other. That's it. But relationship is when you move further, you think the person is the right person for you. Then you want to study the person. So relationship is more like friendship. We are studying each other. You understand? Yes. So dating and relationship is quite different. We shouldn't just combine it.
Yeah. So when you were on the episode 2, you made mention that when you are in a relationship, there is nothing like cheating. I would like to.
Can I say something about the dating?
Okay.
I mean, Ima was right in talking about you fix a date, you go on the date, you get to know the person. But if you're talking about dating as a continuous tense, something that is progressively going on, then it can never be a fixed date. You get it done, then you move away. It's a process. So after the date that you fix, after that date, what happens? You obviously talk on the phone, you obviously discuss other things. So that process,
It's called dating.
that process is called dating.
Okay.
And within that process, you have dates that you can fix in between. So there are dates in dating. So
Okay. All right. So there are dates in dating. Now let me come back to you, Sergio. He made mention that when you're in a relationship, there is nothing like cheating. That was his opinion. Now I want to find out from you, what's your opinion when you talk about cheating in a relationship? Is it right to cheat when you're in a relationship, or you also agree that there's no cheating when you're in a relationship unless you get to marriage?
of course, you listen to the word, and it should tell you more about whether it's good or bad. It's cheating. In anything that you do, if you cheat, it's bad. So if the two of us have come together with a common goal and you go contrary to the common goal, which is cheating, then it's obviously bad. So we as human beings agree that if we are together, boy and a girl, and you go and have another affair outside that relationship, it's called cheating. So it is something that exists, which is obviously not good.
So my brother, Franky, cheating. What's your take on cheating?
Yeah, first of all, I have to laugh a little bit about the concern of my brother because a little funny. But okay, for me, you know, relationship and marriage is like same. The only difference is the papers, the documentation. Because you can't be in a relationship then you start cheating. It means even in marriage you will be cheating. That is my concern. For me, and easy for me again, if you are dating a girl, so we are start going too far. The girl is giving me the time and we are sharing many things together. If she cheat, it's bad for me because for me it's already like a relationship. So actually you can't be in a relationship, you cheat. That for me is no
So
nice.
it's a no for you.
It's
when
a no.
When you're
Big no.
Big no. Okay.
Yeah.
When you are in a relationship, you don't need to cheat.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Briefly, just briefly.
Briefly,
Yeah, I'm
before
just
we
trying
go.
to let my colleagues here understand my point of view.
Okay.
You can't cheat on something that's not. It's like it's a thief. Like it's going to steal from a thief. You understand? The thing is not yours. So why do you cry over it? You understand?
I get you.
Though in a relationship, that's why I said in a relationship, it's just like friendship. We are studying each other. You understand? So if I do something you don't like, you have the right to go and study different person.
Okay.
Relationship is never like marriage.
That's your point of view. So you said you wanted to say something.
I guess I was trying to talk about a little more about the cheating. There are different types of relationships that people enter into. Now we
Let me
have
finish my course.
we have the open type of relationship,
Okay.
and even dating. If you are dating and you are in the process of dating, you still have the opportunity to find somebody else, steady somebody else. And if that means you have to do something with that person, you can call it cheating. But because you're in the dating process, it's somehow pardonable.
Okay.
But if you are in a committed relationship and you cheat,
Okay, so
or
the
you
word
have
here
an
is committed when you are being committed
yes,
to the
so
person.
that was why we were trying to differentiate the dating and the relationship. If you enter into the relationship process, that you want to commit, there's loyalty. You have to be very loyal in that relationship. And if you do that, if you're committed to do that, and you go out and have an affair, it is cheating.
Obviously, you're cheating.
That's
But I want to ask my colleague here.
Okay, what do you want to ask him?
Is it good to have sex in a relationship?
Is it good to have sex in a
Yes.
relationship? We'll talk about that later on. I would like him to answer that later on. I think one of the topics we will discuss in this episode will be sex in relationship. Today's main topic is common mistakes in relationship, and from my experience, the little I also know, is, one of the mistakes we do in relationship is lack of communication. When there is no communication in relationship. Okay, so I want to find out from you, Ima. How would you see communication in having impacts on relationship as a mistake when there is no good communication between you and your partner?
Okay, I would like to quote from the Bible.
Okay.
The Bible said, how can two people work if they don't agree? Meaning
The Bible even understand there should be effective communication between the partners. So you can go in a relationship with someone and think and don't have any like effective communication with that person. If you try to talk to each other, we have a lot of secrets, we have a lot of problems that we need to share. Sometimes you need to know what I like and what I don't like, and all this you can get to know through effective communication. I talk to you, also talk to me. You open up to me, I also open up to you. I share my secret with you, you share your secret with me. Then you know that we are compatible. Like you know that we understand each other. But if you don't talk to each other, if we don't open up to each other, we don't share, that means like we are not compatible. We don't know what we like, or we don't know what we want. So I can just go and do my own thing. You can do your own thing. You don't talk to me.
Okay. Franky,
Yeah.
what's your opinion when it comes to communication?
Okay, I think for this topic we will have the same idea or the same because communication is the main part of a relationship.
Yeah.
You can't be in a relationship and you don't communicate with your partner. Relationship is not war. Even in war, sometimes the opponent they are communicating. So it's not in relationship that you won't communicate. I will give an advice for a girl. If you are with your partner and your partner doesn't communicate, he don't give you the time to go out, to move, to change, to ask about your life, many things. My friend, he don't love you. He don't love you. So communication is really important if you can communicate.
Okay, I get you, but Sergio, I want to give this scenario. Sometimes when we are in relationship, or let me say dating, where we are trying to get to know each other, there is this mistake we commonly do. Okay, so my partner is not calling me, I'm also not calling. That form of ego. So it's hindered the communication, the smooth communication between you and your partner. In that point of view, how would you say me not calling my partner, thinking my partner is not also calling me, how does that affect the relationship?
If I have one word to describe communication in relationship, I would say it's the system.
System.
Yes.
Okay.
Communication
Why is there a system?
is the system that relationship is built on. So if there is no communication, it's like the system is broken. If I cannot tell you what is going on in my life, you cannot tell me what is going on in your life, then we don't have that connection anymore. So the system is broken.
Okay.
So it is very, very important that we have good communication skills in our relationship, healthy communication, in order for us to know what is going on with our lives, so that we can apply other areas such as support for each other. You understand? So relationship is very vital.
So if I understand you, we need communication is more or less like a system.
Yes, I wanted to say not only physical satisfaction, we also have emotional satisfaction, psychological satisfaction. And how do you feed these things? You can only feed them by talking, by opening up to what is going on and getting information, or getting the resources that you need to build on these loopholes that you have in your life. So you need communication, you need to voice out, and you need to
Your feelings to your partner.
I will add a little thing there. Is like communication in a relationship is something natural. When you are in love, it's coming along. Sometimes you will be even explaining all your life to your partner without even knowing what you are doing. So anytime you will be wanting to know about something, I went out there, I did this, it's natural. But when there is no love, it's not natural. So you don't even want to communicate, oh please don't disturb me, all this stuff. So it's natural.
But we also have to know people are different.
Yeah.
We are not all the same.
Individual
So
differences.
you will meet somebody who doesn't really like to talk too much, and in those instances, it doesn't mean you have to force it. You have to push it too much. When you push it too much, it becomes boring. I've seen situations where people come in like coffee shops to drink, and most of the time they will be on their phones. and they find something to talk about, and they talk about it very healthy, and it's very productive. If there's nothing to talk about, you don't just create like things to just
so are you saying that it should come naturally so that you can communicate well to the person? Before you come in,
unless of course there are important things to be talked about, things that are going on that you want to talk about, things that you don't like about your partner that you want to talk about. It is very crucial that you talk about those things. But if we are here and I got something little going on, you got something little going on, and we're not talking, it doesn't mean there is a disconnect. Do you understand? If there are important things,
I'll come to that. One other mistake is when we have misunderstanding between their partners. Okay, then let's move on with misunderstanding.
Communication doesn't just break down. Because you meet a girl, like Franky said, if you fall in love with her, naturally the communication comes.
So if there's a breakdown in communication, that means there's a problem somewhere. It's coming from somewhere. That is a misunderstanding, or maybe there's a problem. You understand? So that time there are egos. Like the guy doesn't want to call first, the girl doesn't want to call first. You understand? Like we all want to. We have the pride. Why should I call first? It's not my mistake. I didn't bring this mistake. So you have to understand each other. Like you have to be matured. That's what I want to say. You have to be matured. And just forget about the egos. Even if the problem is not coming from you, you can just call the person and just settle it. You understand? Either the person apologize, or you just forget about it, or you just what you did I didn't like. You understand? So please, next time you do it this way. You understand? Try to understand each other, behave maturely. Then I think the communication can still work.
Actually, you have to decide it's not easy, because sometimes it won't be like you want, but you have to force it if you like the person.
Yeah, that's what a guy. I'm sure that's how we guys should be coming. Like sometimes a guy you have to sacrifice. You have to behave like.
But some ladies would see that as weakness and they want to capitalize.
That's why I'm saying it won't be easy. So
it will be.
Find a solution.
But women, they like to be careful. You understand? They they want you to be caring. Even if they do the mistake, they want you to apologize. That's how they are sometimes. You understand? So if you love the girl, you have to sit the girl down. Like you try to be mature enough, talk to the girl.
Okay,
this is what you're doing.
So you need to be matured enough and talk to the girl. But my brother said, how would you solve this misunderstanding in your relationship? Your point of view, your opinion, how would you advise one to solve this misunderstanding? Because I believe when you have communication in there, sometimes by all means you're going to have misunderstanding between the two of you. So how would you solve little misunderstandings?
Okay, I believe men are very powerful. Men have a lot of power that we sometimes forget about it. We sometimes think we are all equal. And I believe if you are a man in a relationship, there's a lot of responsibilities on you, which means you have to take the step most of the time. So going back to your question, there's obviously a reason why there was a misunderstanding. You have to take it upon yourself to find out the reason and make sure you solve it. So from a man's point of view, you have to really take charge of the relationship and make sure things are moving on smoothly as they are supposed to move.
Okay.
Not to wait on.
Okay, I want to say this. There are times where the lady might think you've done something wrong, and that is more or less like hindering the communication between the two of you. So the girl is expecting you to know the wrongs you've done for you to apologize. What do you do in a situation where you don't know you've wronged your lady, but she is thinking you have, and you need to know, or you should know, but you don't know, and there's that kind of barrier between the two of you now? How would you solve that kind of barrier?
So if you are in a relationship that you are taking seriously, you should know when there is a disconnect, and you should know when your lady is feeling some type of way about you. And as soon as possible, you need to approach and confide in her, find out what is going on. And I'm sure with the right way, she'll be able to tell you what is going on, where you faulted, you did something wrong, you probably didn't compliment her or something, she will confide in you, and finally you come up with the right way of solving the issue.
Okay, so one of the mistakes we normally do in relationship has to do with forgiveness, or the inability to forgive our partner. Okay, so what happens when you realize that you are at fault, Franky, and you try to apologize to your partner, but your partner is not willing to forgive you? How do you deal with such situation?
Okay, from my side, what I have to say is like we grown up in different places and we have different characters. So sometimes in a relationship, even when you are romantic, you should make things different. It's not everyone who is going to her girl or her woman, her partner to say like I'm apologizing because in what, but there is some actions you can act. There is something that you can do to apologize. So maybe a gift. There are many samples you can do. If you know your partner, I'm talking about relationship, really relationship, not some relationship in China. So because if talking about this relationship with me, you know your partner, you know her weakness, you know how to take her things that can make her come back. So that's it for me.
Okay. How about you, Ima? How would you do?
There's a saying that to err is human, but to forgive is divine. You understand? It's not easy, like to build a relationship with someone and there's a mistake, then or there's a problem, or you hurt someone. Like it's emotional feeling. You understand? It's not easy for the person to forgive. So you the person who hurt the individual or the one in the relationship, you should also try to, if immediately you hurt the person, you break down the relationship. So you have to build it again. You understand? So you have to put yourself in a situation whereby the trust will come again. Because immediately you hurt someone, you lose the trust, everything. So you have to put yourself in a situation whereby the person will begin to trust you again. That's why you should do that.
But don't you think that is quite difficult to do as a man?
Yeah, sometimes men are very arrogant. Like we have the pride.
Hold on. You said very well. You think so? Why do you say men are?
Yeah, I think so. That's why I'm saying most of men won't go and say I'm sorry, baby. But it's like our fathers. Even when we do something, we never come and say I'm apologetic. We do something to apologize, to get the apology.
Sometimes
actually it depends on the mistake you have. So because it depends on what you did.
It's not easy to the level of
the level of mistake.
Some girls, like you hurt them. Like some guys would like to maybe buy things and present it to the girl, but without going to say I'm sorry. Like though you are giving it to the girl, but maybe the girl wants you to say I'm sorry. She wants to hear from your mouth. I'm sorry, but guys want to. We are in charge. Like,
the ladies want to hear from the guys that I'm sorry. So is that difficult to say I'm sorry to your partner?
Yeah, it's difficult for some people, but if you're asking about me, it's something that I don't find it difficult.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I said, if I'd like to chip in this thing, like men in general, we have to do better in relationships. I think we don't invest a lot of our time, our thinking time into the relationships that we have. I think we pay attention to a lot of unnecessary things and not realize that this is more important. Like I said from the beginning of the show, we spent a lot of years, a lot of time with our partners. If you put together, it's more than any other thing that we do. You can think about sleeping, eating, we do this more. So there has to be a lot of commitment, a lot of research, a lot of thinking time into this. So if you've done wrong, you have to apologize. You have to get the humbleness to approach and apologize.
So for you, it comes like it's easy for you to just apologize when.
It's easy for me, and if it's difficult for you, you have to change. You have to change. You have to find a way to be easy when it comes to stuff like this.
Okay, so my men out there coming from
and it's not. It doesn't show a sign of weakness, or doesn't show that you lack like the power in the relationship or anything. This is actually a sign of strength to be able to put down your ego, approach and say you're sorry. It takes a lot of confidence.
I will take a sample, my brother. Like they say, it's easy to forgive. It's easy to say sorry to a partner. I will take a sample. Maybe you have your girlfriend, then you come back in your house one day, you saw your girlfriend cheating on you on your bed. So after that maybe you overreact, like maybe you push her or you do something wrong like because you are angry. So what if the girl start crying after that? You start feeling yourself, you say, are you going to say sorry because we did that? Or
okay, wait. So if I understand you, as a man, you walk into your room, your matrimonial bed, you see your girlfriend or your wife on the bed with another man, and you in turn reacting, you do something to hurt your wife or your girlfriend, and later on you come in to apologize. That's your point.
Yeah, I'm asking if that makes you, it's easy for you to have to apologize.
Yeah. So
as in a relationship, you should understand that all the time the men you are in charge, the men you are the head of the house.
So some mistakes you're supposed to act like, though you came met your wife with someone in your matrimonial bed or in your matrimonial bed, and you reacted like angrily and you pushed your wife away. Yeah, she realized she made a mistake. Maybe she came back and apologized to you or something. Or even if
she didn't come back to apologize to you and you think you still like your wife or you still love your wife, that's where the head should come. You should be mature enough and try and find a way out. Go sit your wife down. Me, I can go sit your wife down. Talk to her. Let her realize she did a mistake by bringing a man in your matrimonial, and you also did a mistake by reacting that way. You understand? So you apologize, you also apologize. You understand each other. You still do your wish.
Oh, my brother, putting the camera behind. I'm praying God to give me that finish to do that, because this one is just movies. It's like movie. We are seeing those movies. It's not. It's
but it happens. It has happened.
Yeah, it's
in real life.
happened.
I had a pastor who told me he went in and saw his wife with someone on a matrimonial bed, and he closed the door and went back, and he told the man that if you finish, then you can leave. So that's how I want to have a chat with my wife. No, it takes patience. It takes patience. We are not the same. Some may react like there have been scenarios. Some kill. They will be there for him.
But that one is dangerous.
That one is
the guy who's living, going out like that.
Yeah.
You have pain more than the one who's acting. You know that they can even do something more bad.
It is true. But me as a girl, for me, if you are my wife and you bring a man into my matrimonial, it's a total disrespect to me.
Okay.
So I will not accept you.
All right.
It's a total disrespect.
Not to cut you, Sergio. What do you?
I was trying to humbly make no comments. I don't know if Franky got the first example to describe this, but for me, even in the relationship, it doesn't. I cannot tolerate it. To compare it to marriage, you come to a matrimonial.
So it's going to be difficult for you.
That's what I'm saying. I cannot continue.
I'll probably not.
It's a total
disrespect there, but
it's a total disrespect.
I don't have to do anything this time.
So for you not say anything, just move, or aren't you going to react at that very point?
You never know. You cannot sit here. You cannot sit here and say what you do.
Okay.
For me.
Me, I will react. Seriously. Yeah. No, I'm talking like this. I will not practice what I'm preaching right now. I will react. Seriously.
Wait, you are going to react?
No, it's not movie. I will react.
By all means, there's going to be that reaction. So you just said something that struck my mind. It's not movie. Sometimes when we begin relationship, okay, or at the initial stages of relationship, we set some kind of goals. Okay, so maybe let me just say I just met this lady. Okay, I love you. She loves me back, and we started a relationship. We have something going on. Okay, so I want us to have 5 children. I want us to get married in the next 2 years or 3 years. Those kind of goals, some are unrealistic. You don't know the person yet, okay, and you are setting all these goals. I want to find out, Franky, how would you, or is it right to start setting those kind of goals with a lady you met, let's say just 1 month into a relationship?
That one I think is dreaming. When they say sometimes from the beginning of love, some people who are not maybe mature or they are dreaming, they are seeing things because of what they are seeing now. They don't think about tomorrow. So sometimes some guys are just flashing the girl to get what they want. So they are starting saying what girl want to understand. So that is very different. For me, I can never promise things to girls that I made. If you want me, you want me. If you don't want me, I will move on because I will try to. I like to be like height. I have to say things that is height.
So Ima, is it advisable to set such goals at the initial stage of the relationship?
Love is very, very sweet. Love is very, very nice. We've watched Titanic before, right?
Yes,
we've watched Movavi before. Yes. Yeah, then you understand love. Love is very, very nice. So if you meet a girl first, like the first 3 months, you may even tell the girl you want to be with a cramp. Like you can say a lot of things. You don't even know like if it will work or not. But since you're in love with the girl, you try to like say a whole lot of things just to make sure the girl will be interested in you or the relationship will be nice. But and normally we watch movies and we see what's happening in movies and we think it's real. Like you want to act like that. No, it's not real.
It's not real. Not to cut you. So setting the goals, I mean the unrealistic ones, and also having expectations of your partner. So it appears to me that sometimes a lady would see a guy and think, oh, this guy needs to do this. Like she has this high expectation of the person or your partner. If the person is not able to deliver, then it sets that kind of hindrances and other things amongst the two of them. So I want to find out from you, expectation, is it good? Or do we even have to set expectations, or have expectations of our partner?
A lot of relationships have started on the wrong foot or ended up because of partners not being honest with themselves and not being honest with the situation they were trying to enter into. But I'm a positive guy, so I like to think things can be achieved. So you set high expectations, that's okay. But you have to be honest with yourself and know what you're capable of, what you're not capable of. Do you understand? So when you set a little higher expectations, that's okay for me. But when you don't realize them, you have to be able to handle yourself or have to be able to compromise and not make it a big deal or judge the relationship based on the expectations that you set that were not realized.
So thank you for chipping in. You said judge the expectation or judge. Is it good, Franky? Is it good to be judgmental when you are in a relationship, to judge your partner based on things that he or she does
before or in the relationship?
From the initial stage, when moving into the relationship itself?
Actually, going to the Bible, judgment is not good. It's not good to judge another person because only God can judge. But being natural, I think, is coming sometime. You are judging it sometimes without even knowing that you are judging. So it's coming naturally. It depends on what the person is doing. So I can't really say like I can't judge. It depends on what the person is doing. So it may happen.
It may happen. Yeah. So you don't need to be judgmental when you are in a relationship. Yeah. But I think that has been one of the mistakes we do. Yeah. So how do you deal with that? A partner who is very judgmental.
In a relationship, we don't normally give people the benefit of the doubt. You understand? Sometimes, like you can't just someone like you can't just think about something and just think it's real or it's happening. No, you have to give people the benefit of the doubt. You understand? You have to believe in your partner, because if you say you're going to check everything you see or everything you hear, then it's not going to work. Because a lot of people who are going to say a lot of things about your relationship. Someone doesn't even want your relationship to work. You understand? They will say a whole lot of things, because in a relationship, if people don't talk about your relationship, then your relationship is not good. Every good relationship needs people to talk about it. You understand? So if they talk about it and you're also going to listen and be judgmental and think that's what is happening, no, your relationship is not going to work. So all the time, I think you should give your partner the benefit of the doubt. Try and or make sure you see, or you see with your naked eye.
You have evidence.
You have evidence before you.
I think there is time for everything within the the relationship story or the love story, there's a time where you have all the chances that you have to find out about the person you're trying to enter into a relationship with. And if you want to be judgmental, if you want to make conclusions about the person, there is a time for that. And that's usually the dating process. So once you are able to skip or go through the dating process successfully, you move to the relationship process. Whatever you have there is what you have to stick with. So that is where it comes to the loyalty and everything. So if you happen to find out something new, you have to stick with it. Try as much as possible to change it, to twist it, to suit your situation and everything. But you don't judge, you don't judge or be judgmental in that.
Like my brother is saying, like you meet someone, you meet someone, as time goes on, you're not going to see the same person, and it's like some things are going to change. You're going to discover new things. You understand? It's not going to be like the same way you met the person, or the love is not going to be the same way. There are times that it may change as time goes on. Things are going to change, so you also adapt. Like you try to change things so that it will work for you. You understand? Even our parents, sometimes they feel like they are fed up, but they tolerate each other so that the relationship will work. So you just can't be judgmental. You have to sometimes also adapt to the changes. Yeah, and you make sure you understand your partner very well.
I would like to disagree a little bit here, because I was trying to say that before my earlier submission, I was trying to say a lot of time, a lot of investment has to be made into the relationship, and the reasons why some relationships don't end up to don't get to where they are supposed to get to is because some of us didn't do the right job when we had the chance to do the right job. So put a lot of insight into what you are trying to establish. What did you find out from the beginning of the relationship? Did you just go out to drink tea, coffee shop, eat pizza and stuff, and you thought it was okay to move on with the relationship? Or did you actually go deep down to find out what kind of personality you are trying to establish the relationship? If you do a good job, trust me, you get yourself in a position where you'll be so sure of the one you are trying to build the future with, and even if there are surprises, there won't be the type of surprises that will make you judge or make you make decisions of whether to go on with the relationship.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Please.
Okay, just make it. Just make it.
I want my mother to understand that in a relationship, we cannot discover everything about your partner.
But I'm not sure he was saying that.
What my brother was
discover everything.
What my brother was,
you need to do some background.
Yeah, what my brother was saying is before you go into a relationship with somebody, you maybe studying the person, you have to discover a lot how the person is. Then before you make that the right choice, you have to know what you are going for. What I want him to know is sometimes as a human being, I can show you what I want you to see and hide what I don't want you to see. I'll hide it to the extent that you will not know until I get what I want from you, and he knows it. Men, we are like chameleons. We change colors. Like sometimes yellow.
Men are okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
I think I have the same point with him. Like I wanted to say something. It's like if today we are here, like Emma, Sergio, and me, it's not because we are the director or the person who writes about relationship or love. We are here to give our own opinion. If tomorrow they invite other people, they will have different opinion. So like love, relationship, they are too large. So we can't really know all this, or like we just give what we maybe survive or maybe we heard. So what I want to say is like when you date someone, you can't know everything about the person because it's what the past. In our parents' time, that things was real. But from today, we know maybe girl or boy, they always act and show you what they want you to see. And sometimes in relation or in marriage, many couples, they are surprised of their partner because now they will do something that you will be surprised. This is how it was. And sometimes too, it can change because of the environment, the friendship. Maybe a partner can change because of her friend, because of his friend, because of the environment will change the person. So what I can say, we can just give our opinion with this.
Okay. I think my brother Sergio wants to add something briefly.
I agree with them to some extent because some truths could be hidden for a long time and it's very difficult to know. But it doesn't take away the fact that you have to look for more.
Sure.
So let me use this as a practical example. How many of us trying to enter into a relationship find out the genotype of our partner before we enter into the relationship? There is something you can easily find. Right?
2 and 1.
So if we use this as an example, we don't do much work. We don't invest more before we enter into a relationship. And it's easy to sit here and talk about it. Because I'm also a victim, a culprit of this. Sometimes what push us to enter into a relationship are forces behind what you see and what you feel. And you take away what you think from it. But if you're able to add the thinking to it, we will end up making better decisions backed by the love, the feelings and everything. And we will be able to reduce the number of breakouts and heartbreaks and everything. That's all I'm trying to say.
All right. You might want to.
Yeah, I will agree with him because we are having an educative program here. Educative. So that like our viewers will know what you're talking about. It's very, what he said is very, very educative. But that's not what is happening right now. How many of us know that this is
Sometimes you may even go. I remember I had a friend who went to a relationship with someone who had gonorrhea, and he didn't even know that he had gonorrhea. And then later he had sex with the girl, he realized he's also having a gonorrhea, like he's having the
Okay.
How many of us do that research?
I think doing
so that's exactly my
10%, 20% going to hospital.
you have time to do that research. You see the girl, you want to go and let's have fun with the girl. What am I supposed to ask? What's your health? Like it doesn't even come to mind.
So we have to do that.
I think that's a common mistake we all do before we go into relationship. But then as we all are saying, like you rightly said, Sergio, and you agree to what Sergio said, we need to at least find out those kind of things before we move in.
Yeah, there's no time limit.
Yeah, we just
after 2 months we have to start doing things. There's no time. You take your time as much as you want.
Okay, so I would like us to just give our last words and our advice to the viewers out there. So I would like to start from you, Emma.
Okay. To the viewers out there, like he said,
if you go into a relationship, you should always try not to be judgmental. You should give your partner the benefit of the doubt. Try to do more research about your partner. There are some things he may or he or she may hide from you. You should understand that even when you go into deep into the relationship, you may discover different behavior, different things about your partner. You should also try to adapt with it and try to behave maturely in a relationship. You should be very, very mature, be disciplined, have a lot of discipline in your relationship.
Okay. Have a lot of discipline in your relationship. Mama and Franky, the last words to my viewers.
Okay, for me, we talk about relationship. Really, relationship. I always saying that because I'm living in China right now, so what I'm living in China, they are quite different, like 80%. So what I have to say is you have to know who is your partner. So like my brother said, you have to take out many things concerning the two partners. Like Emma said from the beginning, love is sweet from the beginning. When you start loving someone, you just do things without even knowing the future or what, just promise. You have to find out those things and don't judge. Judgment will never help you. Don't listen to people around like you did that. You have to find out things by yourself. It's good to see than to hear what is, because in a good relationship you ever say things concerning you guys.
Alright.
So just love your partner, cause your partner, and make future together. That's all.
Okay, so mine was Sergio.
I'd like to say there's a lot to gain from love than from sex.
Yeah.
And because of that, we have to prioritize love. So you have to start off from the right foot. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with the situation you're trying to enter into. If you are not in a situation where relationship suits you, you have to be honest with yourself. I mean, some of us travel to China and we know we have situations back home, and because of that, we cannot build relationships. So there's no point in trying to convince somebody just because of sex. So my point is there's a lot more to gain from love than sex. So be honest with yourself, be honest with the situations you are trying to enter yourself into, learn more, ask more questions, take your time, try to make sure you are doing the right thing. And when you do that, you will find out that you get the right person and you get the love that you deserve, the love that your partner also deserves.
All right, so thank you all very much. I really appreciate for coming, and I thank you for giving good advice to my viewers out there. So if you are still watching me, MC Babbage, the Relationship Talk Show, thank you very much for always coming onto my YouTube channel to watch my content. And if you are new here, try to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell, so whenever I upload a new content, you will be notified. Thank you very much for sticking to MC Babbage YouTube channel all the time. I would like to say a very big thank you to my Babbage Jnr for giving me this nice haircut, and to everyone who's supporting me, to my men here, to all those on campus here, the ISU, my president, Mbia, and everyone. Thank you very much, and for the next video next week. Thank you very much.
My friend, go and stop.